Hello and welcome to the one-on-one program on HCN for Herald. We have with us the Honorable Minister for Power and Environment Law, Mr. Nilesh Cabral. Mr. Cabral, thank you for joining us. In fact, there are a lot of issues that you are currently dealing with. All of them have evoked a lot of responses amongst Goans. We'd like to start with the most important issue as of now is the whole coastal zone management plan. And of course, the NGT gave an order post which you have announced that there's going to be public hearings on July 8th and one more day in South Goa. Let me begin by asking in the sense that did you have to go for these public hearings primarily because the NGT told you to? Otherwise, do you admit that in the earlier phase there may have been some flaws because of which people had to go to court?
Basically, if you see the NGT order, it's very clear. See, whatever Goa Foundation, Mr. Cloud says, that parameters are not defined. But the order of the NGT, when they see that 8 parameters where they had gone to court have been set aside, and they have only brought in the parameter of because of a venue change. They have high venue change suddenly. So there is nothing else written about the things which the CZMP plan, why it should not be done. So basically, looking at this angle, NGT must have looked at all the parameters of where that petition was, and whatever we said they have accounted for. That's what I feel. So based on that, if that is the only thing, why we should not, and that is why we always had intention of hearing everybody and anything. That is why we had asked them to give their suggestions. But unfortunately, because of COVID, we had to put restrictions. And restrictions, so now we are making a bigger area. So without any restrictions, and let people come and say, only thing is, it should be really in the interest of the state. It is becoming a political movement, what I have seen last time. So I think that leaving aside that, they should sincerely focus on what is good for the state, which will be implemented if it is part of the CDMP proceedings by itself.
Tell me, the thing is, you all have announced that each speaker will be given 15 minutes to speak, and after that, the next speaker comes in. You've also been liberal in saying that okay, as many people can come in provided they register by the end of the month, and there's also going to be spot registration. Now, what has happened is the Goa Foundation also has raised an objection on two fronts. Firstly, they have said that why should the hearings be in open air in the monsoons because that will restrict number of people coming in. And secondly, why should there be a restriction on the minutes because people should get time to speak as much as they want. So what do you say to that?
Basically, why we are not having in the open air. I think he is not aware that we are going to have a shamyana and a waterproof shamyana where it will be covered on top so that people can be accommodated maximum because we don't know how many people are going to come.
Right.
Halls are limited to a certain distance, and when you have social distancing norms which the government has to do, then that becomes a parameter for having a bigger area. So that is why we are having an open area but a covered platform. So we are going to put a shamyana, water. So that is not a question of because he was not aware of what we are doing. So I think I can now. The second thing, what you said, why 15 minutes? See, we spent 15 minutes to give public hearing, but we have also said that give your representation everything in writing, which will be also recorded. The question why 15 minutes because we don't know how many speakers are going to come. So NGT has told to give restricted time also. They have specified if you want, I can read the order, the sentence. So we have specified a time upfront so they can come and speak in 15 minutes. And if in that 15 minutes also, if they want to give, they can give a written representation. There's no problem. We will consider all that.
Okay, fine. Mr. Cabral, just looking at the larger issue, see, for instance, Goa has been waiting for a good CZMP for a very, very long time. Uh, do you admit or do you agree that the absence of a proper plan, how has the absence of a proper plan affected Goa's coastal management? Has it also led to rampant constructions?
What has happened is there are two parts of this story. One is my story is just 2.5 years back or 2 years back. The other story is from 1996. Somebody who was responsible to do that CZMP plan then, did not do a proper plan. That is why we are all suffering. This plan, what we are supposed to do is of 2011. We are 10 years away from that plan. I think we have to take a call and finish. And our sincere effort has been done in doing this plan 2, 3 times, 4 times we have done. People have given so many representations we have accounted for, and wherever I can assure the people of Goa, wherever it is genuine objections filed, will be taken care of. But the major objections filed is we want villages, we want to come to your houses, we come. These are all stupid things which are not part of the NGT also has not now considered the coming to the villages, for example. But I had done an exercise of sending people to the villages to understand. We also told them to make their own plan and send. So whatever their own plan plus the CZMP plan filed by NCSM, the differences in whatever is there, if it is technically correct, will be corrected. If it is not technically correct, it will not be corrected because it does not give the purview. It's not a law, so you cannot go ahead and do it. So one thing that with me here, I will follow up and I will get it done, whatever maximum possible to bring the best plan of CZMP for the state of Goa.
Mr. Cabral, what is your estimate in terms of the timeline for this? In the sense that how much time do you reckon it will take for the final plan to come?
If these people don't go to court and again for no reasons, I think I have been very open telling that whatever they feel, they should write and give. So when they write and they give, it is also a record. And we will see that we will give point wise why this is not there. Because last subjections what they had given we have all are compiled now. Whichever has to be told to NCSM to correct, we will tell them to correct. And what is not there, we will tell them this is not correct. So we will upload it once it is the CZMP is hearings are over and the thing is done. We will upload all those previous things. What is there in the hearing, they will be told that time only. That's a different issue. But what we are saying is sincere plan for Goa has to be done, keeping our Goa ecology and fragmentation and all the environmental needs of the people of Goa. Now there is a sustainable model, non-sustainable model. People feel that they have to be allowed to enjoy the tourism season, beaches, shacks, this, that. So I think somewhere down the line, sustainability also will have to be taken care of.
Okay.
We'll look.
Coming to the next issue, Mr. Cabral, the thing is, it's just come to light that a letter has been written by the Goa government to the Ministry of Environment, Union Ministry of Environment, seeking the denotification of about 33 eco-sensitive villages in the Western Ghats for development. And the letter actually mentions that there are forest areas and there are other agricultural areas, and these need to be denotified so that development, quote unquote, can take place. Can you throw more light on this? Has it really happened? And what was behind this move?
If you go to the notification of the Western Ghats, it is very clearly mentioned that there should be a RSL level, means MSL level, mean sea level should be more than 500 meters. That's what little confused were often. It is somewhere 500 or 600 meters, it should be above. Above 600 is called Western Ghats. Now, what has happened is in each when the measurement is taken, we have seen the Honorable CM has seen that a lot of these Western Ghats are shown where people are staying and they are less below than 50 MSL or mean sea level. So all these things have been shown. So when all these things have been shown, which is not as per the draft notification, we do not come in that purview. So I think these 33 villages, what the Honorable CM has written a letter is to drop this because they do not come in that MSL of more than 500 or 600.
So you're saying that these villages don't come under the minimum sea level category, and as a result of which they do not classify to be eco-sensitive villages. Are you saying that?
Not following the ESA that is a category for
yes. Okay, so but the point is, when they become denotified, what really happens? Once these villages get out of the zone, then what is the effect that happens?
that was a draft.
How does the state benefit by denotifying them?
State, first of all, what is going on for that system to put the Western Ghats in place is just a draft notification. It is not on final. All states are still in the purview of finalization. So the state has given its say that we are ready. There is no problem in doing the notification. We have no objection, but go as per the draft. And these particular villages, there are 2 villages which are there which are not existing in Goa out of the 33 villages. One village is double, means when they notified it is put 2 times. So this is draft and not finalized. So we have.
So let us say instead of 33, there are 31 villages. We are talking about 31 villages then, roughly.
I'm just giving an example of which are the 33 villages. So 2 are double, 1 is not there in the state of Goa. I mean, 2 are not in the state of Goa, 1 is double, and the others are below the notification, that is below 500 MSL, and continuity is not there. So this notification, based on notification, representation has gone. Now, what has happened is not that we don't want to protect, we will protect our thing, but what has happened, they have shown existing villages which are already people are cultivating their fields, their houses are shown in that area. It will be another problem like how we have for when Mr. Jacob was the governor of Goa, that time 2 wildlife sanctuaries were notified. One was the Madai Wildlife Sanctuary and one is the Netravali Wildlife Sanctuary. Till today, the boundaries are not demarcated. Why is that? It's because the people are saying that we were notified along with, because we were staying much before the notification. What about our thing? So the fight is still going on. So the boundaries are still notified, not notified. So in this case, the government has pointed out that it is a notification where we are not against putting this Western Ghats into place, but what is as per the Western Ghat regulation, you should put in place. That is what we have asked.
Okay. Now coming to the issue of power, Mr. Cabral, there was one bright spark in this whole pandemic situation, and that happened when Goa was devastated by the cyclones. And there are a lot of people who have commended the complete turnaround in the past situation, even though there were so many tree falls and so on and so forth. Could you just throw a little bit of light on that revival which happened and how large parts of Goa got power back quickly? In a department which is actually known traditionally for being slow to recover from these kind of situations, with a lot of excess manpower and so on and so forth.
What has happened is absolutely correct. Today we have very young, dynamic SEs, and our staff have been motivated by them, by our chief electrical engineer, our power secretary, who normally, if you see a power secretary, has never gone to places when this thing happens. He has visited everywhere, including our entire team. And we were monitoring round the clock. And we had made some teams extra before the cyclone. But it went beyond the expectation, because nobody expected so much damage to happen. And we had to fly in people from Jaipur, from Delhi, and people to work. They came flying, I mean, the flights, trains, and we managed. What we did was temporary restoration. Permanent restoration is still going on, where the poles and are still erected. But our priority was to see that the people have are given the power to manage. And what you said is absolutely correct. Let's see what has happened is with the dynamism of the younger team today, where our SEs are fresh and they want to drive their people and go. There's one Stephen by name who was looking after North Goa, and there was Mr. Samant South Goa. But then the other SEs, the Mayur and the senior SEs at Buriye, each one took a responsibility and they worked almost 18 to 20 hours, sometimes 21 hours. They did not go home for food also. I gave them the powers to buy food and give the line staff, everybody at the site. So it was like a working lunch, and they worked tirelessly. And I think the first time the department has experienced, like what you have said is absolutely correct, that the energies have been vibrant. And I think it is because everybody got together. Not only what used to happen in the past, that whoever was responsible of that particular area was left to fend for himself. But with the scenario, there were more people on the senior team which went to site, and decisions were taken there itself to decide what was there. I had told the stores that you don't bother about giving work orders, because if we wait for work orders, it will take time. So whatever requirement as per our schedule of rates, requirements are there, because we have a certain schedule of rates. Or if in the past somebody has supplied you the transformers or supplied you the poles or supplied you the material in the immediate past, and if they're ready to supply at the same rate also, you please take, and we will see. So based on my approval and based on the chief electrical engineer's approval, the power department's approval, and Honorable CM's know-how, I mean, he was aware of what was happening. And I took his permission that if we wait, we will not get these poles and all that. So based on this and the assurance given by me as a minister of the government, people supplied all these equipments to us, and that is why we will be able to do this restoration a little faster time. I remember somebody was telling me in 1994, not a similar nature of cyclone, but there was a cyclone, and they took 15 days to restore. So,
Right.
we have done in 2 days and 3 days, very rarely few pockets we took around 4 or 5 days. But in 4 or 5 days or 6 days, entire Goa was restored. This is what this is only the team efforts and dedication, not only just giving orders, our senior people going on site, visiting every site, going everywhere and finding solutions. So I think my office also, my OSDs, my other staff in the office also was coordinating with everybody to see that they do not suffer the manpower shortage or the material shortage.
Right.
And Honorable CM has always told the bills have not been gone, but the bills will go our experts for approval because till today requirement of poles is still being supplied to many places. In
Right.
the north are remaining, in the south in Sangye, many pockets are remaining because a lot of trees have fallen. All this is happening, and I think as a team, the entire department, in the first time in their life, they must have worked and slogged, which they must have not done in last so many years because of the dynamic backup given by the senior team.
What was the cumulative loss during the cyclones as far as your department is concerned? Loss or expenses that you need to incur right now?
We were not ascertained, but a tentative we were sitting 2 days back where we came to know that the requirement of only the material has come to around 22 crores, 22 to 23 crores.
Okay.
And now the manpower, whatever our people is there, we have used. But there are so many cranes and so many other manpowers what we have used. So all that will come on to focus in the next few days. But tentatively, I feel around 40 to 45 crores is going to be the cost of this cyclone to us.
Cyclone, okay. Quickly switching, and this is the last question that I would like to ask. And one of the issues that are right now currently doing the rounds, and there are a lot of public protests, is the construction that is happening at Vainguinim beach. Of course, a large number of petitions have been filed. Both parties have gone to court, but the basic contention is that on the Vanguinim beach, the allegation and supported by visuals and so on and so forth is that concretization seems to be happening and a new structure seems to be being put up as opposed to the permission for repairs. This has been the narrative, and this been the narrative pushed forth by the local residents. And of course, there was an inspection both by the panchayat and also by the GCZMA. And GCZMA during its initial preliminary inspection report has stated that has recommended that there should have been a stop work and demolition, primarily because the necessary permissions were apparently not taken, and things were not according to what was permitted. So what has happened post that? Because a hearing has happened, and then you said that at the end of the day you'll get to the bottom of it and take a call. So if you could just tell us that what are your findings, what are the GCZMA's findings, and what is the position on that issue right now?
See, what has happened is there are two things which I would like to bring to your notice because it's to be telling about it. So first of all, this permission was given in somewhere in 2017, and when I have told this is a little sensitive issue. That's why I do not make a statement which I would normally make otherwise, because knowing something in the background. I have told my secretary to Environment, who is the chairman of GCZMA, to give the entire detailed report which they are preparing. They will give me this week. Now, what has happened is I will from preliminary. I'm just saying preliminary again. I'm using the word preliminary know-how which I have taken on first-hand information, without documentation. Is that this particular, because there is one representation which has come yesterday from one Mr. Colin Curry, who has saying that this is illegal. But from what I have seen, the same Colin Curry had gone to court in 2008, and he has in a High Court petition, he has said all which is already admitted in 2008 by him. So,
Could you just repeat that? There was a slight audio drop. So I just request you to repeat what you just last part once again, because there was an audio drop.
I have got a representation one Mr. Colin Curry. And, so that is 2 years back. I've got a representation mentioning a lot of things about that particular ball. Then on preliminary inquiry without documentation. I was told by team of CRZ that this same Mr. Colin Curry had made a High Court petition for the access and all other things in 2008, where he himself has admitted that this wall is existed. So a lot of contradicting statements are coming. So I don't want to comment fully because I'm getting documentations. I have been told that this wall existed and got withered away. But I don't want to comment more on that. But one thing I can
Are you saying this wall which is being constructed existed before? Is that what you are saying? You've learned?
Colin Curry, who has made a representation yesterday, saying that it's illegal. So my people are showing me documents in the High Court where he has stated that wall was there in 2008. Instead of doing illegality now, it's not come. But this is just a hearsay. So I'm
Right.
I've told them, directed them all to give me documents, which I will come back, give me some more time, because this is a little sensitive issue. And the entire documentation in black and white, I'm going to collect with evidences. And in case I am already on record that in case it is wrong, it will be me to give direction that it has to be removed from that place. There's no second. But if it is already existed before, and if the things were there before, then I think we should look at the whole angle in that way. So that will be done only when I get the entire report with documentary proof.
Right. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister of Power, Mr. Cabral, for talking to us and for giving your views and your position on various situations. Look forward to talking to you again. Thank you so much.